Hey everybody. So I bought this book a while ago. Here, it's called 지구 끝에 온실. And I got this book because during the pandemic, my hobby has been growing plants. As you can probably see, my house is a jungle. I recently saw a news article saying that the rights to turn this book into a drama, the screen rights, had been sold. And they were sold to a company called Studio Dragon, which is a Korean drama production company that's created a ton of hit shows that ended up on Netflix after being on TV here in Korea. Some of those shows are things like 사랑의 불시착, which in English is called Crash Landing on You, 스위트홈, which is called Sweet Home in English, and also Vincenzo, which was also really popular on Netflix last year, I believe. I think that's really good news for this book because it seems like everything that they've touched has turned into gold. The problem for me is that I never finished the book. I think for a lot of people, myself definitely included, the biggest problem when it comes to reading and sticking with it is accountability and just kind of like the nature of reading itself. You know, reading is like largely a solitary activity. It's something you do by yourself, and then when it's all done, the experience is just yours for you alone to enjoy quietly. And that's not really how I do anything. I gotta talk about the things I'm interested in. You know this because you're watching my YouTube channel where I do that. So I figured the best thing for me to do in order to actually get through this book and start getting through books in general is to create a book club. So I'm going to read this book section by section and do weekly check-ins when I finish each section, where I'll share some vocabulary I think is interesting, summarize what I've read, and then also, you know, share any bits of discussion that we may have among the members of the book club, people who are participating. And kind of, you know, be a book club. Y'all know what a book club is. So let's talk about this book for a minute. The title of this book, 지구 끝에 온실, doesn't have an official English translation, so I'm not gonna assign one to it or anything. I'm not gonna like make one and start using it. We're gonna talk about the book with its Korean title, 지구 끝에 온실. So let's look at the different components of the title of the book first so we can kind of figure out what it means more or less. So first off, 지구 is the name for Earth, as in the planet that we live on. Not like dirt. Dirt has a different word. Big E, Earth. 끝, of course, means end, and 온실 means greenhouse. It's like warm or heat, and then room or space like that. So one translation here could be a greenhouse for the end of the world, or the greenhouse that ended the world. It's pretty ambiguous, and I'm sure it's like that on purpose. I have a feeling we'll figure out what the title actually means somewhere inside the book, like most books. So this book is a sci-fi story that takes place here on Earth in a society that is doing some reconstruction after some unexplained, at least at the beginning of the book, unexplained mass extinction event, this apocalyptic, cataclysmic event that took place called Dustpol, or in English, I'm guessing it's dust fall, probably not dust pole, but you know, you never know. So that's a pretty interesting and exciting backdrop for a story, don't you think? So the author, Kim Cho-yeop, is a young woman. She's only a year older than me, actually, and she has a real science background. That's what she studied in school. I'm hoping that that contributes to the book's science-y, futuristic, imaginative parts not being cringy or weird. Hopefully it'll be more believable and realistic and enticing in that way. I'm also really excited these days that in Korean media, different genres, you know, things other than scary ghost and love story are breaking through and getting super popular here. So I really want to try to support that kind of media every chance that I get. The sci-fi, or in Korean it's called SF. The SF that I've seen from Korea so far has been cool and exciting and very different than American or at least English language sci-fi. Something else kind of funny that happened while I was getting ready for this video and getting ready to start this book club was that while I was preparing, I looked up the back cover summary of the story because the print copy that I had didn't have it. And when I looked up the book, I came to realize through the sales pages that this is not the final version of the book. The book was actually written in a serial format online first. And so this is out of date, and this is not what the book's like anymore. As you can see, I don't know if you can see here, but there are these 5 lines in the book that separate the 5 chapters of the story. So I was planning on doing this, over 5 weeks. When I looked it up, though, it has been shortened to 3 bigger sections. So I decided to run out and get a new copy of the book, which has a much prettier cover too. It's all holographic, like a Pokemon card. So now I have 2 copies of this book that I have not yet finished. So 작가님 연락 주세요. 우리 친해져요. Okay, so let's get into the more practical elements of this whole thing. Where can you get the book? Well, this book has not had any kind of international release yet, as far as I can tell. I looked it up and I didn't see anything. So getting a physical copy of the book would require you ordering it from Korea and shipping it to wherever you are. That's going to take a while. So I don't recommend getting a physical copy right now. Something that doesn't require shipping are ebooks. You can get an ebook version of this story at any major Korean retailer of books. So companies like 교보문고, Aladdin, and Yes24. These all have websites where you can order. I'll put links to that down in the description. I bought mine at 교보문고. I got lots of points there. So go grab yourself a copy so we can start reading together today. So here is the plan for this book club. I'm going to be doing the aforementioned weekly check-in video every week on Wednesdays, Korea time. So the first check-in will be next week, April 13th, and we're going to discuss the prologue as well as the first 장 here, which is called 모습 하나. So that should be reading from page 9 to page 107. Each section seems to be about 100 pages, give or take, so we're looking at an average, a rough average, of about 15 pages a day of reading. Hopefully that'll be like a Goldilocks zone for people who are like intermediate level Korean learners. It's not too much, not too little. Hopefully shouldn't be too big of a distraction from things you were already doing, but should be a little bit of a challenge to keep up with. I also mentioned this idea over in the Refold Korean Discord server to a handful of other Korean learners, and there seemed to be some interest there in participating in this book club. So in addition to the weekly check-in videos here, which should be the bulk of what I actually produce for this book club, I'll be participating in discussions over there as well on the Discord server. If you'd like to participate in that part of the discussion, the Refold Korean Discord server is free, so I'll put a link to how you can join there down in the description. If you're not really into Discord, just leave comments under the YouTube videos like normal, and I will get back to you for sure. Also, if you're a content creator of any type, making Instagram posts or YouTube videos or TikToks or whatever, and you'd like to participate in creating content during this book club series, please do and send it to me. We can do some like cross content conversing or something like that. If you're finding any links in the comments or whatever, or getting caught in the YouTube spam filter, just go ahead and send me an email at ian@koreanpatch.co, and I'll do my best to signal boost whatever you're making. Okay, so there's the announcement, there's the assignment, page 9 through 107. Let's get started. I'm going to be making other content in the meantime, but I'll see you at book club next week.